What is up, you guys? Yeah, it's gonna be another Sunday session with you guys. I'm gonna be walking on the Jetta today. Sorry, not the Jetta. Walking on the truck today. Um, Figured I'd bring you guys along with me since I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do the Sunday session thing later, since I have to pick up waifu um, from her graduation from yoga teacher training. First off, I want to say congratulations to everybody at Namaste Fitness. Congratulations on becoming yoga instructors. I know it's been kind of difficult with what's been going on this year, so congratulations to those guys. But yeah, so like I said, I'm going to be working on the truck right now. Long story short, a couple weeks ago, I took it over to the car wash to hose down the engine because I had a kink in my oil catch can, so I ended up just spraying oil all over the engine. So took it over there, hosed it down. After I hosed it down, I found out that it wouldn't start. So it wouldn't start, but I found the reason why was because the previous owner put not really cheap ignition wires, but he didn't really do the best job of putting them on. So when I went to check all the connections, I found that some of the wires were either completely stuck to the rotor, so when I went to pull them off, the entire boot came with it, or the wire itself was deteriorating, so when I pulled it off, the actual port that connects to the cap came off with it. So I'll show you guys that when I pull it off. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do right now. Hopefully it shouldn't take that long. I'm just going to pull off all the old ignition wires and put on some of these Euro Sport ignition wires I got, so shout out to those guys. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that, so feel free to talk to me if you want to go live with me, chat it up. Feel free to. Like I said, I'm just doing this so then I figured I'd go live, so then I'm a little bit more more attentive to what I'm doing. I'm not really checking my phone every couple minutes. So yeah. Alright, so first things first, let me remember what motor I pulled them off on. I really think that makes a difference. I mean, the good thing about these wires is that they are numbered, so I'll show it to you guys real quick. So, in this case, yeah, see. So here we have wire, I think that says 1, I don't think this thing is meant to have 7 cylinders. Yep, got me some fresh wires. You guys can see they're clean on the inside, very nicely constructed. They're actually a little bit thicker than the factory wires, so when I pull one of them off, I'll show it to you guys. So, go ahead and snip this one. So, yeah, so that's going to be 1. Just the end of the wheel. So, yeah, let me go ahead and put a little dielectric grease on this. Just so you know. Spark plug connector, this is tracking, closure the horizontal, should maintain the correct firing order, please remove the wire at the time, starting with long wire first. Help remove existing wire clips, wire separators, blah blah blah. Remove the longest wire, gas and swap plug connector, select the truth to seal, remove the distributor connector. All mounts. Inside on the spark plug boots. Okay. spark plug boots. So that's this. So yeah, straightforward of an installation as this is. There's nothing wrong with reading the instructions. So yeah. So, those of you guys who don't, we're kind of listening to this as somewhat of a DIY. So, they gave me a little packet of dielectric grease seal. You can also buy your own little pack of AutoZone oilers and so on. When you apply it, I mean, I'm pretty sure it says in the instructions, like so, but make sure that you do not apply it to the actual metal portions of it. So do not apply it to the bolts that's actually gonna make a connection with any electrical connection. So like the actual connectors that connect to the spark plugs. Rub it along the rubber portions, or if you're doing it on spark plugs, put it on the actual threads. So pretty much anything that can corrode and get stuck, that's what you want to put it on. Very rarely do the actual electrical connectors get stuck together, which if they do, that's something else. It's not corrosion, that's it arcing and it welding onto itself. So yeah, I attached some grease on both ends of the rubber portions. So this end is going on the spark plug, and this one, let me trace it. Might have to cut this connector off. So I'm going to let you guys look at this for a second. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but the previous owner's zip tie did little zip tie separators for all the spark plug wires. So could cut them off, but at the same time make it easier for me to throw it out, so I'm kind of just leaving it like that. So, hold on. I'm gonna go ahead and trace this. Yeah, let me just go ahead and cut it. Just go on the safe side. I'm not really going to be reusing these anyway, so who cares if I end up snapping one of them or something. I'll end up cutting them a little bit more. It's actual pedal scissors. So another helpful thing about this car is that you guys can see right there, it has its own little rain tray, so that's kind of why I just leave all my stuff, which is completely sealed off, because that's actually where the heater the heater vent's supposed to go, but because the previous owner did a heater delete, I just got a plate and then just blocked it off. So yeah, I just basically have an extra shelf light though, so it helps. So while I'm cutting these, I have to be careful I don't actually cut anything else on the tents I initially cut. There's a crap ton of little things around these, like the I think the thermostat wires, thermostat wires, the radiator, those. So gotta be careful I don't snip any of those. So yeah, this is one of the ones that got stuck, so I'll show you guys what that looked like, what this looks like in a second. So, first wire is off. So, this may have been from when I was cutting the, zip ties just now, but you guys can kind of see how it's kind of splitting right here. Yeah, so that. The actual spark plug boot itself actually wasn't that bad, aside from it not actually making a good seal. So on top of that, as you guys can see, luckily, yeah, so this is actually one of the ones where the copper piece came off, so you guys can actually see in there. See how it's kind of frayed, how there's some I don't know if you guys can actually see that with the zip ties in the way, but so yeah, if you guys can see that. Anyway, but yeah, so piece of copper came out, so I'm actually about to yank that out right now. So yeah, and then these spark plug wires are not, cheap by any stretch of the imagination. The Bosch spark plug wires, they all legitimate. It's just the previous owner didn't exactly do the best job of securing them. What is really in though? So yeah, so that's the pulp that came off in the cap and rotor. So that's one of the reasons why it wasn't firing, because this pulp, which is supposed to be wrapped around the little freight hills, so this thing out again, so actually you can actually push it through a little bit. That's what I was talking about. The whole thing actually started to fall apart. So push this out a little bit. And actually pull it. So as you guys can see, as I'm pulling that, it's actually coming through. So that pole right there, that little hill, is supposed to be wrapped around this pole, and then obviously that makes a connection, and then Boom. But because it fell apart, yeah. So that's trash now. Also, while I'm here, yeah, I mean, the live is probably gonna cut out by the time I get to doing this part, but I'm actually gonna clean up a little bit more of the wires in here, because it kind of bugs me that the fuel line is right up against the block here. So if you guys can see it with this little silver wire right here. So the reason why I can't bring it any closer, because I have my phone plugged in right now. Then the cable stretched as far as it can go already, and you guys are at, so I'm only at 20%, which I know I should have charged my phone before I did this, but, so yeah, so it's like a stainless steel braided fuel line, so it's stainless steel braided, so it's not really like it's really rubbing up against anything, but still, it's kind of concerning that you have a fuel line up against the block like that. Okay, so now that's one, slow two, and that popped off pretty easily. This one, I think this is another one that fell apart. So this one didn't really fall apart. I mean, the casing was kind of falling apart, but yeah, I think this is one of the ones where it wasn't falling apart, but this part was actually like pulled all the way in. So again, because the thing was so loose, it was kind of like that, so you can hardly even see it, versus like this when I just pulled it out. Well, it was like that. You see, it's right there. It makes connection with whatever I plugged it into. So that's gone. In case you guys are wondering why yellow, just match the look of the truck, which I'm actually getting them kind of dirty right now, so, but whatever. Even though this is quote-unquote my show car now, I'm not really going for that pristine, super clean look. I'm going for, obviously, that busted pizza boy look. So again, coating of dielectric grease, just a really light film. You don't really need to like gel it in there, because again, you don't want it to interfere with anything else that's supposed to make a connection. So again, just very lightly grease it. Again, spark plug goes fast. Give it a little twist. Strong connection on there. So in this case, I'm toning it till it actually stops toning, so that it has a nice lock on it. also, while I'm doing this, I'm also taking the time to kind of walk any kinks out of the lines that I find. So again, comes off fill lines, keeping it. Now, if anything, I'm actually using, because the main difference between these lines and the old ones, the old ones have this little L, this little 90-degree bend, whereas these ones, they're both straight. So, because it's standing up, I'm actually using that to actually hold some of the wires back away from the bone. So that's actually a pretty good thing. So like I said, it actually keeps it so that stuff is not rubbing. Stuff that shouldn't be hot isn't. I mean, stuff that shouldn't be as hot isn't rubbing against something that's the hottest thing in the whole engine, which is the engine itself. So I also got a new set of spark plugs, but the plugs I have are actually still pretty fresh. So I'm leaving them alone, and this was another one that kind of fell apart. So I have to pry that one out. So we go ahead and find line 3. And then apparently I have 6, so 4. Oh, and then the actual, never mind. This is the, this is for the coil. Yeah, I'll swap them both out. Why not? Because, well, yeah, I'll swap the coil out too. Because right now the coil is on. Yeah, let's see what this is. Yeah, I'll pull the ignition coil line out also, so that you guys can see, so then I can look at what brand that is. Because it's not the same one. Or if it is, it's not obvious that it's the same brand. What did I do with the dynamics? Oddly enough, all the Eurosport logos are actually sticking up as I'm putting them in. So this one was another one of the ones that fell apart, so this one should actually be a little bit easier to pull out because this one actually broke in half. So I'll show you that in a second if I can get this one out. So this one actually, yeah, this one should be a little bit easier just because I can stick the needle nose pliers in a little bit deeper in order to twist it out. You'll also be able to see. So the heel, actually should have gotten my Dremel, but it's okay, I can use the wire brush. So heel, you can actually see that this one was actually pretty corroded. So that is another reason why I was having a little bit of issues firing up initially. Which again, nothing really against the wiles that I had, because again, the Bosch wiles that were actually pretty straight, but previous Ono didn't exactly do the best job insulating them, which again, that's why you put dielectric grease to obviously prevent corrosion and prevent actual moisture from getting in, which is understandable. At the same time, it's kind of understandable that this car has some corrosion in it, considering that the previous owner lived in Long Beach. So, you know, some bit of salt but you know, the thing was not necessarily garage. There was, it was in his driveway for God knows how long. So, and he wasn't really near the water. So, but still, no excuse for that. Like I said, I'm cleaning out the bolts a little bit here. Which I know some of you guys are thinking, why are you sticking a needle nose plier into the cap? I disconnected the battery, so don't worry about it. Now some of you guys are like, oh, you're about to get shocked so hard right now. But no. So it's pretty clean. I'm just cleaning out, like I said, what little bit of scale and stuff is in here, blowing out the little debris that's in there from when the wire fell apart. Try to find the best way to blend these without them tangling with each other. Tangling or binding for that matter. So this one looks like it's gonna have to go between them. And then on. Just let's do that. Last wire, and then like I said, I'll pull off the ignition coil wire, see what that one's all about, see if it's worth changing it to the newer one or not. So, last one, best one. So yeah, you guys that just joined me, I decided to change the plug wires on this thing, because when I went and hosed the engine down a couple weeks ago, because my oil catch can got a kink in it, ended up blowing oil all over the place. So went and hosed the engine down, actually took the precautions to make sure I actually covered all the electrical connections, small plug wires, all that. But as soon as I pulled it out of the bay, got it on the street, and it just started firing on 3 or 2 cylinders, so right then there was like, nope, something happened. So took everything apart, come to find out that some of the wires were falling apart, some of them were frayed in places I couldn't see, so, you know, some of them were snipped because of the zip tie separators that the previous owner made. So yeah, luckily I was able to salvage what I could and get it to start up, so it was actually working pretty fine, but you know, why risk it? I have the parts, so that's all 4 wires in. Actually, let me go ahead and redo this one. It's kind of bending in a funky direction. Right, so this one's actually going to go over everything, which is perfectly fine. Cool. So yeah. Alright. So that, 27%, that should be fine. So, this is where we're at right now, you guys. So, like I said, replaced all the cruddy looking gray ones with these yellow sport ones. So, oh yeah, that's what I was going to show you guys. So you guys can see they're a little bit thicker, not massively thicker, maybe, yeah, maybe like 1 or 2 millimeters thicker, but yeah. Not really expecting crazy, not really expecting to get crazy amounts of power out of this, but it's pretty punchy. That's mostly what I wanted to get back, was the punchiness that I had. So in case you guys haven't been following my stories, in case you guys didn't see my pulse haul video from a couple months ago, in terms of mods on this thing, obviously I painted the CIS tube, but the bottom of the box, I replaced it with a pipe cross filter. It's not on right now because I need to still clean it and adjust it, but I also have a new speed throttle body, and then obviously the Eurosport wires, and then and then I still have the 5-speed trans to go in, which, yeah, I know I said I was gonna do it a couple months ago, but every shop I've taken it to, they said that they could work on it, but they're probably just gonna end up leaving it sitting around, since obviously they have other stuff to work on. So yeah. Oh, we don't want to do that. Alright, so let's go ahead and yank off the ignition coil wire, which, yeah, I'm thinking I might as well change this one too, just because all the work I've been doing on this, I have noticed that it does come off fairly easily. It looks fine on this one, except, like I said, the rubble's a little bit, worn, but so yeah, the rubble's a little bit worn on it, but aside from that, everything else looks pretty solid. In terms of what brand this is, let's see. Yeah, Yes, this is another 7mm cord. In terms of brand, Mag, I guess. What it says here, Mag. Super something called. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and change this. Make everything uniform. Because as much as I want that one wire to stick out, there's no point. So now let's go ahead and change that. Yeah, so as much as I want that one wire to stick out, you know, it being the one that goes to the coil, let's just make everything match. Well, that's assuming this will even reach, you know, maybe like that's something really quick. So it looks like the one I took off is a little bit, it looks like the coil line is a little bit longer on the one I took off. But let's see. So that's gonna go here. Change now. Tuck this one underneath. So again, I wanna pull those fuel lines away from the block. And actually, yeah, this actually looks like it'll work. I mean, actually, let me put it underneath this whole thing, so then same thing, it lifts up all the other lines, so they're not all resting on the block. Short all the better. Yeah, I mean it works. I was just worried that it wasn't gonna reach, but yeah, it's fine. It's fine, and I still have plenty of slack. So, alright, so that's on. I don't think I knocked anything else off. While I'm here, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, while I'm here, let me just go ahead and snip some of these random ass zip ties that are sticking out. Hopefully I don't cut anything else on accident in the process. So, there's that. So while I'm here, might as well just wipe off whatever little extra bits of oil are still around, just so that I have a clean, quote-unquote clean, reference point from this junk straw. Good. Okay, let's fire it up and let's see what happens. Oh wait, that's what I was gonna do first. Check my oil level. So I don't think it's been spraying any more oil, at least not that I've noticed. I mean, like I said, still had a couple spots here and there, but that's just mostly oil and the grease that's been sitting there since the day I bought it. And oil is looks a little bit low, so let me just go ahead and put a couple drops in. quieted it down too. What other upgrades are you doing to it? Right now aside from the transmission swap, I think I'm good with it for now. I mean, if probably do a little wild tuck, maybe some deletes, maybe again fix all the BS the previous owner took shortcuts on. But yeah, aside from that, I'm gonna try to leave this motor alone just because the guy that sold me the 5-speed trans, I'm gonna hit him up tomorrow. I'm gonna see if he still has the motor that went along with it, because I want to try to build that motor up. Because right now this is a 1.7, which I could build a 1.7, but obviously there wasn't really that much support behind it. And then I don't really want to put that much effort into it, especially considering, like I said, there's a possibility this motor is gone to shit at this point. I just haven't really gotten there yet. So yeah, I'm gonna try to see if he still has that motor. If he still has it, I'll pick it up, and then I want to try to ITB it, just because I have the Jetta, so that's more or less all the boosts I need and want right now. So I want to try to do an ITB. Yeah, I want to try to do an ITB motor. Obviously I know I'm gonna need to probably go standalone on that, which is fine, because according to all the dudes on my MK1 forums, it's fairly easy to do. I mean, especially considering these models don't really need that much work, especially if you're gonna do standalone. It's really easy to tune. Or, you know, I'll just do cogs. It's fine. You know, I really want to keep this all modal though. I want to keep it all modal. If, you know, worst comes to worst, probably I'll do I'll probably do 16 valve or a 2.0 ABA. You know, I want to try as much as possible not to go for a VL6 or for a Mark 4 or older model. I mean, especially since, like I said, I just got that 5-speed trans. So, yeah. Yeah. Seems like everything's working pretty good. Like I said, it actually sounds like it's actually running pretty quiet right now. Let me go ahead and stand you guys up a little bit. Let me give you guys a little bit of a rev so you can hear that Piper class intake. So yeah, also that just reminded me, because I was looking at my voltage gauge to make sure, because I thought either my battery or my alternator was going bad, but I guess it's just because of the CIS, the voltage drops a little bit on, drops a little bit on startup. So yeah, but anyway, I was looking at that and it reminded me, yeah, I also have like a set of gauges I'm gonna put in this thing. So where the stock stereo was, that's where I'm gonna put like I'm gonna put like an actual like temp gauge, because the temp gauge works in it, but it doesn't actually tell me the actual temperature. So an actual temperature gauge is telling me what it's actually running at. Another voltage gauge, and then a air fuel ratio gauge, which I think I can put a what's it called? Not an air fuel, a lambada gauge face on it. So I think I can do that. So yeah, the reason why I'm putting another voltage gauge in there is because it's lit. Because the gauges that are in it right now are the stock ones, and then the slots for the bulbs are all jacked up. So figure if I'm gonna might as well buy a whole new set of gauges. So I might do that. Might do a custom dash, because like I said in the other video, I'm trying to keep the exterior as, you know, clean but pretty as possible. And then the interior is where it's like, you look inside, it's like, oh, it's, you know, it's all business. So, you know, there's gonna be racing seats, the roll cage, the gauges, you know, but, you know, I'm still gonna try to keep a full interior, but, you know, so, yeah, you know, I'm getting too ahead of myself. For all I know, I'm gonna pretty much scrap all that when it comes down to it, but, yeah, everything sounds like it's pretty solid. I mean, coughed a little bit when I got on it, but other than that, sounds pretty good. So I guess I'll go ahead and end the video there. Thanks you guys that stuck with it the entire time, and I'll see you guys next week.